Honestly, I didn't really care if the Raiders won or lost this game. I would get angry when the Raiders lost in the beginning of the season, but I really just don't care anymore. This team just doesn't get it, but at least it was an entertaining game. The index card to determine the first down was funny, and a first. I kinda wanted the Raiders to lose for a better draft pick, but at least they didn't lay an egg again on national TV. I want to give credit to the Cowboys for winning, but honestly, I felt like the Raiders lost. It seemed like both teams did their best to give the other team a chance to win. The Raiders would mess it up, and then the Cowboys would return the favor to the Raiders. In the end, the Raiders ended up giving the game away. Derek Carr fumbled the ball for a touchback in a bad and unnecessary play. In the end, the final play symbolized the Raiders' season. So much potential, and they mess it up. Where was the second half Raiders team this whole season? They played with fire and urgency and finally showed some fight. The first half Raiders played like the rest of the season except for the Chiefs game. They didn't really care and showed little to no real fight. They played with an intensity of a preseason game and didn't have any emotion. Lots of talent, none of the passion. Now, on to something tangible. The Raiders' run defense showed up. After the first few drives where Morris was getting chunks, the Raiders' defense finally settled down. The middle of the Raiders' defense isn't really strong or talented, but they've been getting it done. Granted, if Zeke was in there, things would be completely different. The Cowboys still have a good running game, and somehow the Raiders managed to keep it in check. The Raiders' pass defense really surprised me. Mack and Irvin got consistent pressure and made Dak uncomfortable in the pocket. More importantly, the Raiders' secondary held up in coverage. The one play where Dak ran it in for a touchdown showed just how great the coverage was this game. Total surprise performance by a pretty bad secondary. I don't know what specific magic John Pagano is doing, but why wasn't he defensive coordinator earlier? Maybe a fire got lit, but this defense is playing really differently. I see disguises and some creative things for the defense. If nothing else, Ken Norton Jr. should have been fired a long time ago. Again, this defense is talented with some good pieces. They should at least be average with Khalil Mack in there and are finally showing it. For the offense, the commentators noticed what was obvious. Why are the Raiders running a zone blocking scheme when they are built for power? I don't know why Todd Downing changed a scheme that was proven to work. The Raiders stuck to the running game and it was working this game. The running game slowly opened up as the game wore on and Lynch was rolling. It might be too late now, but maybe Downing is learning. The Raiders' offense seems to have two completely different sets. In the passing game, it's 4 or 5 wide and Carr gets the ball out of his hands quick. In the running game, it's power I and it's obvious what the Raiders will do based off of the formation. There is almost no play action, which is what Carr does best. Derek Carr is not a quick rhythm, high completion passer. He works best off play action and taking deep shots. He needs to back the defense up. He's playing completely differently from what's given him success. The Cowboys played with the desperation the Raiders should have a long time ago. The Cowboys went for it on 4th down and went for a fake punt. They played with urgency and did whatever it took to win. The Raiders, on the other hand, played it safe until they had to. Jack Del Rio gambled a lot last year and it would create a spark within the team. I don't know why it all stopped this year. Cordero Patterson is a real weapon on kick returns. He broke through multiple times, but the Raiders kept getting penalties to mess it up. They should have learned by now that Patterson is a playmaker and let him work. The Raiders had tons of costly penalties all game long, and the kick return ones could have been the most costly.